up now, but I'm still having the dizzy and the pain from time to time. So as far as the pain medication goes, since it's so strong and seems to affect me adversely, I have decided to bear through the pain through the day and just have the pain medication at night so that I can get some good sleep. That said, my sleep has still been kind of disturbed because, again, when I lay down, that's when the dizziness really hits the worst. So I kind of sleep like Frankenstein. I sleep really stiffly, and that ends up giving me a crick in the neck. So if you see me kind of turning strangely like Frankenstein, that's why. I still have a real sharp pain in my neck on this side. So a lot of things going on, not all of them positive, but I'm here, and hopefully we can get through today's stream relatively um, without any mishaps. Um, so for the moment, uh, I'm just kind of biding my time. I'm supposed to meet up with a specialist, an ear, nose, and throat specialist at the end of the month, which is why I went back to the doctor a couple of times this week trying to get things sorted out because I didn't think I could handle the pain and stuff for that many weeks. Um, Even now, I'm not really feeling all that great. So if I kind of go off, that's probably why. I'm just feeling pretty lousy. But I was determined to try and get at least the tours in this week, even if I don't plan on coming back tomorrow. Um, and hello, Poi, Bones, Aura. Thank you guys for joining. And I appreciate all of the well wishes that everybody has been sending me. Very much appreciate. It's just been one of those. It's not a great start to the year, but I'm a puny person. So if I get sick, it's going to be like the worst version of it, and just very annoying. But like I said, I'm supposed to see a specialist at the end of the month, and that will probably mean more than one visit because I think this initial one is just a consultation, and that means I'll be going back later, likely for some testing, which probably will include vertigo testing again. Something I did several years ago. It was completely miserable. It was like 2 hours of torture. So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm a worrywart by nature, so that also adds to my medical issues because I get, kind of anxiety about all of it. So yeah, it's just been fun all the way around. But been trying to take it easy and everything, and part of that included having to cancel some of the streams this week, unfortunately. I miss doing it when I'm not there, and I feel guilty for not doing it, but I know my health should come first, so I waited till today. I feel better in some respects and others not so much, so it's just going to be one of those deals. If I have to get up, please excuse me and all of that. But we're going to see if we can get through this. I know there was those of you that were wanting to get in touch with me about some of the tours that I might be doing this week. Unfortunately, I just haven't been in game most of the time. I think I logged in just to kind of check mail, and that was it. I just have been kind of avoiding the upstairs and everything. So been spending most of my time down on the couch, just kind of reclined and everything. Um, so apologies if I wasn't able to get in touch with you as you were hoping. Um, for right now, I'm just going to go with a few of the houses that were on my to be toured list. Um, and for those of you that maybe have a house that you're wanting me to show and you're anxious to get me to preview it and everything, just please bear with me. Like I said, in the coming weeks, it may be that I only am able to hop on for the tour days because I want to at least try and stick with those to keep us on track. Um, but it may just come that I'm unable to do that as regularly as I hope. So it's going to be more kind of like a day-to-day thing. I don't know how I'm going to feel each morning. Just depends on how much sleep I am able to get and how things pan out. And as we get closer and closer to the visits with the specialist, and especially if I go through another rigorous testing of vertigo and stuff, that may knock me out for quite a while. So we'll just have to play it by ear. So I will do my best to let folks know if I'm going to be canceling for a given day. Um, but I can almost say if I'm not here by 8 or shortly after, that probably it's just a cancellation. Um, Even if I don't manage to tweet out such, I will do my best to do that, but I can't guarantee that I'll be functional enough to do that as much as I would like. So just keep an eye on the Twitter feed, and hopefully we can keep you guys up to date as far as day-to-day plans. I don't want to say I'm just going to go without for X amount of days because I may actually feel better next week than I do this week. But we'll try and keep you guys informed. That said, I probably will go ahead and skip tomorrow. So we're just going to do for today to get the tours for this week in, and then I'll probably just make an extended weekend of it. So just so you know, I'll probably tweet again tomorrow about that just for confirmation, but I'm expecting I'll probably just go ahead and skip it. To that end, let's get to the tours. I've just got a couple of houses today. Let's see if I get this out right. Uh, I don't know if I'm going to say this right. It's Sagittarium, I think is how you say it. The plot itself is called Sagittarium. It's a strange name, but it's one that they chose. And I like this one just because of I've seen some other plots try to do similar things, and I thought, you know, it might be good to show this person's approach to it. So you can see they didn't really try to hide the entrance. They just kind of built around it, which keeps it interesting. I mean, like even the having the extra curved walls here just adds an extra little design to it. I forget what these things are called. It's a Dominion deal. I don't know if it's um, uh, I'm not even sure what it's called. Pillar or something. I have no idea. Um, but you can see that here they've made a little path. It's like some oversized gray stones with the stepping stones from Starcom Basin lining either side. I think it's a nice look. It almost looks like they chiseled out the pathway from all of these other stones, and that, or either that, or it's like rubble on either side. Um, let's just go through in here. I'm not sure what's being used for this. I don't know if that's just a giant root of one of the trees or what, but I like how they've got it kind of, they've got the supports under there, um, lots of hanging wires, little generators. It's almost like a little storage area under here, under this little bridge kind of thing. Dominion generator, yeah, that's probably what it is. I don't use the Dominion pieces too often, so it gets me a little, yeah, I think this is the root of the umbrella tree that they're using there. So right over here, it looks like the beginnings of another section to this particular plot. It's been like this for a while, so last I checked anyway, so I'm not sure if they plan on to continue with this. I expect so, but again, it's hard to determine what takes someone away from their plot. Maybe they've run out of space, run out of ideas, run out of materials. Um, but you can see it looks a little bit more mechanical than the rest of it. The rest of it's more like a jungle kind of scene. You can see all of the overgrowth hanging from the different bridges and such. And this seems more like a station type of thing. So I don't know what it's going to become, but it'll be something we can check out later as time goes on. But treetop villages are a pretty uh, favorite theme when it comes especially to Orin themed plots. Um, This has got a Chua house on it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's Chua players, but it could be. As before, we had the cross-faction housing. Whenever I'd go and visit some of the Dominion homes, they too had a lot of nature-y type plots. So it's not really restricted to any particular race. But I like the different approaches they've done for these little huts, or whatever you want to call them, little habitats in these areas here. So we're just going to first, I'm going to take you to the main house, to a building, because if I remember right, it's not really too expansive, different, very simple layout. It's basically just a living room and a little bedroom upstairs. You can tell they've done most of their planning and work on the outside as far as arrangements and detail in their structures. I think most of the connective bridges and such are decking pieces. Um, I want to say there's probably some rope bridges too, but I think it's mostly decking. But like this little building here is hover park piece. I think these are some of the edge pieces. This here, and then the little, I don't know what, it's just hover park pieces. But it looks like a little bit of a lab works, or a control station, probably is a better term. You've got several seats with controls for each. Um, some layered glass or framed glass, the outworkings, but it's a nice little clean type of building. Again, with the glass, you're not going to have the privilege of being able to hide things in the walls, but using the tree as the base, you're able to sink some of that into there. Um, I can imagine somebody could turn this into an island kind of cabana kind of thing really easily. You can see some of it is like enclosed where the generators are, and how they use different lights and things for like the porthole windows, adding a little extra to it. Work our way up. And just very simple edge pieces, I think, cover part piece. They've got it accented with like some of the barricades. Uh, there's even an Osun piece there, just to kind of beef it up a little bit. Different kinds of fencing. I see looks like Pell fencing, regular fencing. Then they've got the decking railing. Go here. There's a little bit of a storage down below. And then up here, notice they're using decking pieces and then a dome for the top, but they've also added some reinforced walls just to give it a little bit of, like it's been strengthened a little bit, not just wood. So here's like the medical area. Got this little outcropping for the plants. And then all your medical equipment. Got a little surgical table here. A lot of combination of items here. I mean, you've got the holographic projector, got the, I think it's called the bridge screen. There's some ichthyum parts there. Looks like an open pod of some sort. Some reinforced walls. There's even, yeah, oh, what's it called? Looks like some kind of gun thing. I'm not sure if that's part of the ichthyum thing. I think that's two separate pieces. But you can see how that kind of beefs it up. Just changes the look a little bit, doesn't keep it kind of completely wood. And I like how they've got chains connecting and even cables running from each little cubicle or whatever you want to call it, as if they're all connected to the same generator. They took a lot of care in keeping all of that connected with all of the hanging cables. And here's another type of workstation. A lot of electronics here. Different pieces from uh, Soul Frost items. Um, this is just one of the pictures from the housing vendor. You've got the magnetized containers. I think these are called body scanners. And this is again a combination of ichthyine stuff. It's that one with the fish bones in the back, and then they've added one of the vid screens from, I think it's Grimvault, that you can get this one, like video display 5000 or something. Now here you can see you've got several avenues of a path. You can either go down and around, get to another part. You can go up to the right and up that way. So let's just go down first. You can see they use a lot of the overgrowth. There's like a strand of fence to make it look like vines, I guess, hanging from the tree. Um, little bits of pillows and such. Little hideaways for different types of storage. Here's like they've got this little bit with the candles lining that little bit of wood. Again, with the chains and how this is bowed a little bit, helps it look like a rope bridge of their own making. Hey Faye, good morning. So here we have a little outcropping for sitting, and then you blend it right up with wood platform. Notice this oversized plant fills in a little space. They could have used it for something else if they wanted, but that was a good way. It's an extra way of adding some greenery to it. Again, you have multiple paths here. You can go up over here or down across. We'll just go up this time, I think. Again, it looks very patched together with whatever the builder happened to have on hand. Very makeshift, kind of like the Exiles city, very patchworked together. You've got different materials, like pell fencing, the ragged tarps with the rope, plus chain link fence, that kind of thing. So this brings you to a little top of this one, a good view of some of the other connected buildings. I think we just come from here and went down and across. Again, I love how this is bowed. This lends itself better to, if you don't want to use the actual rope bridges, which you would probably have to use just as many pieces, but maybe you don't like the look of it, this is an alternative. I like how the Orin landing is just kind of blended right in. And huge cables running all along the bottoms of all of these tree houses or whatever you want to call them. This is like a bar and grill type of thing. You can see they're actually using the self-cleaning grills as like little fans or generators of some kind. A lot of people like the moving gears and stuff, so they try to use it in interesting ways. A little bit of a kitchen area. and then the tables, of course. Notice this one has the metal containers, or the container right on front. Again, maybe it's like a generator of some sort. Maybe there's like some special air conditioning that goes on, or I don't know what. But again, it's similar, kind of like almost like a bell top that this is built into. Yes, the grills are rather noisy. I prefer, if I'm going to do like a little thing like this, I would probably go with the, what's it called, the Dreg uh, windmill, I think is what it's called. Wind something. It has that little squeaky sound. I like it better. The other has like, I think you can hear the flame of the grill itself cooking. So it's a little loud. Yeah, let's go back down this way. And you can see it's all connected. Lots of room for adding little seating areas. You know, maybe if you want to have like this one leads up to this little flag, you could have put a little lots of pillows, a little hookah thing if you wanted. Lots of ways you could go about with that. I especially like this, the way it's kind of ties in with the curve of the tree there. Area, and if you continue down, you just get different things on each level. Brings you to this main lit area, back down to the main house. I'm gonna go back up. Most of the stuff down below on the ground level is fab kits. Few trees. I didn't really notice anything specific as far as a little Easter egg type of structure or anything. Oh, do they? No, I hadn't noticed that either. Okay, so that's where we come from. Let's go back up a little further. Try not to go too fast because even this movement kind of makes me a little dizzy. Well, I imagine if it's like giant size. I know some items, depending on how big they are, the sound increases or decreases, and others don't do that. They're just loud no matter what size you make. Kind of like some of the smoke effects that some of the items give, they enlarge with the item itself. So maybe if you do use a bubbling cauldron, the smoke stream gets really big. But like for like the teacup, if you enlarge the teacup, the smoke, if I remember right, just stays small. Weird how there's inconsistencies when it comes to that stuff. So here's another little building. Again, it's like the bell top shape, and it looks like almost like a museum section that they started. Different kinds of things that they've collected through their adventures. I like how they're using the top of a Draken dome, almost like a rocky dirt surface kind of thing. Maybe they planned on expanding this out, something else, connecting it. Again, if you're building these type of structures, try to make it safe for your visitors. I like how, while not all of it has guardrails, it's at least not requiring me to jump or maneuver some narrow pathways. This is relatively safe unless I'm really not paying attention, but I have come across some treetop villages and stuff where it gets a little dangerous. And up at this height, your character will definitely take a massive amount of damage. So here's a little living space. I think this is the bottom of the, oh, what do you call it? The emergency, or the early warning system, the thing with the little bird in it. Um, Seems a little funny because of how it's blended here. But I like how the windows, like the little bay windows or whatever they've given, it still holds to the roundness of the building itself. Just repeats that curve. Whatever. Now you can see how there's some things that's kind of sticking out where you probably don't want them. It's the only thing about building this way is maybe the thickness isn't exactly like you want. The only way you can maybe fix that is doubling up and pushing it in a little bit so that it's a little thicker. But again, you know, depends on what you're going to be doing with it. A Happy New Year to you, Aurora. Just a reminder, while my streams have been fewer and farther between of late, are still holding our monthly CBDC. We've already got a couple of entries for that submitted so far. Great. I was a little worried that folks might have a little trouble with it once I announced it and there wasn't a big push of excitement. But oh, do you, Aurora? I'm glad to hear that. I really am, because I'm hoping some folks can come up with some interesting stuff. Like I said, we've already gotten a couple of entries, so that's positive. Still plenty of weeks to go as far as I'm getting lost here. As far as time for you guys to put something together. Again, you don't have to make it about something that you're actually, were we here? Yeah, I'm like retracing my steps. Is it this way? No, that's where we come from. Now I lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, you don't have to actually do if you don't practice doing the resolutions each year, or if you just, maybe you're embarrassed about the one you've given yourself and you don't want to, you know, announce what you did or have chosen, you can make it up. I don't care, as long as you present something that a lot of people could probably relate to. That works for me. It's just like the ones I did. I just randomly picked a couple that I know are commonly used. Have we been in this one? We've been in this one, haven't we? I am so lost here. I feel like I'm going to be missing something. Oh, well, that's all right, Poi. I hope it goes well. I know how the medical stuff can be. Wow, already 3 projects. That's great. Or I'm excited to see what you put together. And my eye is twitchy now. I can't tell if I've actually visited everything or if I'm completely lost. I keep coming back to the same little huts. Yeah, I know we went to that side, back down. So lost. To that one, that I thought this was one, but that's a neighbor house. Maybe we hit all of them. Oh, wait. I don't think we come down this way. I honestly can't. It's bad. No, that's the way we come up, I guess. But yeah, I hope it goes well, Poi. His doctor stuff is not fun, no matter what you're really going for. I guess that's it. Um, I'll make a quick run down below just to make sure I didn't miss anything the first time I come through. This is another noisy item, the treadmill. I don't like using it. I like the look of it, but I don't like the noise that comes with it. And if you're wondering about this here, that's just one of these upside down. We saw, I think it was Maddie that used it for a pathway to one of her underground places. And just a lot of times people don't notice, don't take a look at the bottoms of the objects, and it looks like a different color almost. It almost looks like a black, but it's got that strange little pattern, but it's just the bottom of the purple rock arch. Okay, so that's the entrance. That's the little house, and we come down that way. So again, they're just using a lot of the fab kits. There's like the garden, the flower garden fab kit. I don't think there's anything else. Nice and open, plenty of room for other things if you want. You could put a little campsite, a little outdoor market down below. Even the little buildings up above, those could be like a treetop market if you want. Just change it so that each building has its own theme of products or something, that kind of thing. Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah, Aurora, I think that's okay. I haven't heard anything back from Green on the museum stuff. What I would say is just save them as your sets, so that if Green decides to use one or more of yours, that you have it on hand so that you can rebuild it or share the code with them. Um, but I just haven't heard back from them. I may reach out to them. If I don't hear back by the end of this month, I'll probably reach out again. The way I understand it, they've been really busy in real life. That was one of the reasons why they took so long to get in touch with me. It was like a month after the fact to begin with, so it may just be that they just haven't had a chance. But uh, I haven't heard if they are wanting to look at any of them up close. I kind of suspected they wanted to, but again, I haven't heard anything. But there is the screenshots and videos of nothing else they can check out if you don't have them up front. If they do reach out to me and say, hey, I went to such and such's place and they didn't have it up, I can always reach out to those that they mentioned. But as yet, I haven't heard anything back. It's unfortunate because, I thought it was going to be a kind of a fun deal. But again, like I said, I think real life kind of caught up with them and has kept them away from the game more than they had hoped. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I haven't heard anything at all other than they were aware that the competition or challenge was done and that they would eventually get to it someday. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it's safe that you can move them out if you need the space. Okay, so that was Sagittarius Telsarium's plot, the Sagittarium, like a combination of their first and last name. Next house we're going to visit is Leah Rosenhain, I think is the right way to say that. Oh, understandable. But yeah, as long as you got the set saved, I think it's perfectly fine to remove them if you need the space. No worries. Okay, so this is called Hugel Nest RP. I actually thought I had toured this before, but it might just be a name that's similar to another one that we visited. But you can see they did a pretty good job of disguising the entrance here. You've got what appears to be the massive umbrella tree. You can tell by not only you don't get white puffs of snow when you walk atop it like you do with the snowy hills, but you can see the giant root of the tree itself sticking. Um, they use some grass patches to kind of indicate where the path is, but they've added different rocks and other kinds of greenery and decorations to kind of build this up a little bit. Now, I don't know what this sign is supposed to represent, but it's a little cross sign. I don't know if it's like a do not enter or warning or X marks the spot. Um, but these are just the streamers. Those are items you can get directly off the housing vendor. It's probably one of the little known things because, again, we don't have indicators on the housing vendor to denote new items as they pop in. So, yeah, it's probably something that not everybody realizes they have access, among other things. But it's something I wish they would add, and a lot of people have requested it. They do some kind of like a new category, or just maybe put a little asterisk by them, or a little star, or have them light up in a different color, or some way of indicating that that's a really recently added item to the vendor. Nice. Um, so yeah, maybe it's something to do with their role play. Maybe X is the symbol for their troop or something. I have no idea. But it's one way of making a sign. It's just the two banners, the streamers, and atop one of the decking pieces. You can tell they're using some of the insta-hills. Again, you can quickly see those, especially if the person leaves the clutter up. The clutter is like the little bits of grass and flowers that people will see on a flat piece of land. You can choose to hide the clutter, or you can have it showing. If it's showing, then any like insta-hills that you might add in will replicate the ground cover, but it won't have the clutter. So it'll be like clutter, 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 and then suddenly you have the smooth little hill. I think generally speaking, most that use them will go ahead and turn the clutter off and do like this individual. They just add in the clutter themselves. Again, it's a great way of being able to denote the path, not only with the rocks that they've added, but having it grown on either side to kind of say, this is where you walk. Notice they're having to use that nasty brown grass. I don't think there's any actual grass patches that currently match the Celestion ground cover. Probably the ones you might could get away with is some of the brambles, the green brambles. There's maybe the overgrowth because it's kind of got those leaf shapes in it, but it's I think a little brighter than this. And it's not very practical because it's basically just a bump of leaves. So I wish they'd add some more grasses that matched a little better. But you can see they even use the dead ones to good effect. It's not that um, big of an issue. It's just we don't have any that perfectly match it. We'll just follow the path. Notice they've made their own little lamp posts. It's basically the Orin fence post with two lamps on it. You've got the Hugel lamp, and then you've got the Orin like little sconce to make their own little lamp. So over here we have probably the outhouse. It's looks to be just 2x4s for the walls, accented with Orin pillars, topped with a dome, and then you have the little stool itself, which is basically, it looks like a bowl, a plate, and then the base of it is one of those Red Moon Terror, I think it's the end cap for the piping. Looks like they're using one of the vertical pipes to connect base of the toilet to the little tank up here. So I guess this would be the water to flush it. They even have a little flusher, little chain pull with a cup on the end. So it's kind of old-fashioned, but looks nice. Again, probably every toilet we visited that's custom is never like any other we've seen. There's some that are similar to each other, but it's always interesting to. One of these days, I'm gonna have to do just a complete stream with just about toilets, all the different styles, or I'll do a challenge for toilet design. So I think this, what is this? This a maze of rocks? I hope not, because I'm gonna get lost in here. Now let's go the other way. My eyes twitching again. You can see they did squeeze in their own fab kits. This is the garden one. Ah, here we go. Notice with the gray stones, the stone door that everybody loves really does blend in, especially if the lighting is just right. It's almost, unless you're mousing over or know what you're looking for, it's easy to miss. So here's kind of a little, it's like a house, sort of. And you've got the dining table here, the little kitchen, a little bit of a waterfall thing going on with the water coming out of the hugel face. And then here's the bedroom. I like the little clamshell bed, as if they could just close it when they're sleeping. It's just a couple of domes with the pillows inserted. Now, if you're having trouble, like say you wanted to use one of the pillows with the corner tassels and you're having trouble hiding them into this thin bit of the dome, one way builders get around that is by uh, double, triple, quadrupling up the layer of the dome. So it'd be multiple domes just gradiated in size to thicken that up. And that way you can hide little things like that. It just so happens that they chose a round pillow and it doesn't stick out anywhere. But if you have that trouble or you're looking for a specific color and you have things sticking out where you don't want, putting multiple sized domes to get it a little thicker in the wall. Um, a great way to kind of bypass that to hide what you don't want showing. And then here's a little desk. You can see how what I have mentioned before about the gray stones, how they kind of disappear depending on how your camera is angled. It kind of ruins the coziness of a cave made out of those. Um, Especially for someone like me that tends to run around with my camera zoomed out quite a ways. Because I try to catch all of the details. And the more I stay zoomed out, the more likely I'm going to run into things that doesn't quite look right because the camera kind of pops out of the rock. Back up. Notice they've lit it with candled stones. One way, again, if you want your visitors to not miss anything like this little cave thing, little clues like that helps lead them to it and ensures that they see what you want them to see. You know, if you're specifically trying to hide it and only want people that really go around investigating every little inch of your plot on their own, and aren't worried if somebody misses it, then, you know, obviously you don't have to throw out those little clues. But if you want to make sure folks don't miss it, a good idea to, have some kind of a hint, whether it be a little X marks the spot or a special statue or a little uncovered path, that kind of thing. So for those of you that haven't seen it before, this is the aviary house. It's the one that looks like a big giant hugel. I can better shot of it here. Looks like they've added. I don't know what the options for this house is. I've not gotten it myself, so I don't know what they've done to it or not done to it. It looks like maybe this is just what it comes as, one of the options for it. But again, it looks like a bird. So it's an aviary house. I think it's probably one of the first we've actually toured. You can tell they haven't really done too much to change the layout of the interior. They've added a few things here. You can see they've got the staircases, which are mostly pillars, lots and lots of pillars. They've added this little section here with, I think it's granite walls. Made like these little tiered seating areas. So you've got collections of cushions. Clearly it's an Oran kind of gathering looking place. Lots of plants showing off some that they've gotten from the spring decor pack. These here are just those ones in the vase that I like to use for flower beds, and they've just got the vase sunk down. Overgrowth kind of add to that ivy feel. Accenting their little hugel statues with lanterns. Upper floor. These are windows that come as is, and then they've just added in lots of seating. It reminds you of the Oran buildings out in game where they have multiple layers, but most of it's just lots of seating where they can come, chit chat, drink tea, whatever. Over here is a little kitchen area. I think it's kitchen. Yeah, it's mostly like herbs and a little bit of storage under here. Very basic, nothing too elaborate. But you can see they have two ways of getting up to the top. There's this section over here, which they've actually used a staircase, and then this section here just got some planks that lead down to a little, like a hammock type of seating. They could have added a second staircase if they wanted. Lots of space. I think, isn't it Upoi that has one of these on NA side that's like got 3 or 4 levels? It's really huge. You could do a lot with it. I think probably the main thing that people might steer away from it is because of the round shape. A lot of people have problems with the round rooms. It takes a little bit more planning, I think, on trying to fit in your stairs, and the curvature just feels weird sometimes. So, but it's a really, really pretty looking little house. Okay, let's see. So this one. You can see they did a lot of work as far as not just the grasses, but different types of trees they've planted in. It looks overgrown, but not in a crowded way. It's just I'll have to note down the name. I don't think it's on my list yet. So here, I believe this is the Hugel hinge fab kit, like a 2x1 size, and they've just extended it by adding more Hugel statues to expand this space and make it into like a little, almost tribal feeling, like they have a little meeting here, a gathering of their top minds or something to discuss maybe the community's needs and efforts and such like that. So again, just some little different tables. They've got the tree tables just kind of sunk down, so it looks like it fits better with just having the cushions as the seats. But they also have a few benches, maybe for the VIPers or the elders of the community. Checking if there's anything back here. You can see they're using some of the potted plants. Myself, I'd probably would stick it down even further so you don't see the pot, but from a distance, it might not be that they want people to like actually go off in the back here. From the distance, it looks really good. Keeps it looking fluffy. Back of the Google hinge. You can see most of the plot is lined with the gray stones, and then they've just taken a good care as far as putting all these little plants and trees and things in, fill it up. Again, I'm the worst at landscaping, so I appreciate the effort gone into setting that up. It looks like that's it, I think. Again, if I tour your place and I miss something, feel free to point it out to me. I will try and make up for it either by doing a retour or you're welcome to comment on it on the videos on YouTube. Um, Comments are always welcome there. So if I miss something or if you want to ask a question about someplace I tour, probably the ideal. No, yes, I would like stop right in the that. Doug. Thought we visited. I'm missing something here, aren't I? Maybe I'm supposed to climb up this. This is like a little camp. Oh, no. See how well disguised that was? I didn't even see it. So you come around and there's that hugel and there's just that little bit. That's a clue, but I missed it completely. Yes, it did, Poi. Yes, it did. I retweeted, I think, all of the pictures that, I think it was Daxter that was posting all the pictures from Aoni's plot. I've got it noted down. In fact, I got like 3 or 4 of Aoni's places written down on my retoured list. I just haven't had a chance to really go through NA side. I just grabbed some from the Black Dagger Society competition and used that for last week's. But next week I'll have to actually sit down and spend some time randomly visiting some places because I don't want to do like a whole Auni tour, all 5 or 6 of Auni's buildings all in one stream. It's not that, that probably wouldn't be fun for some, but I still like to try and mix it up. You have different builders, different styles presented. So I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to try and remember what yours is on there. And I know there's a lot of builders that, like Katya's stuff, there's flowers places. like her piano shop and everything. There's a lot of places that I'd like to tag down. I just haven't had a chance to do that. And of course, me being ill these last few weeks has not um, been conducive to that effort. So hopefully, as things progress, I'll be able to improve and get that sorted a little better. I think that's it. Trying to see if there's anything else. I mean, just little details like this with the sword and the stone. They've got the little rocks on there. Sure, I'm missing some little bits, but hopefully not too much. But that's the Hugelnest RP from Leah Rosenhain. I don't know what RP troop actually uses the plot. I know we've got several groups, some that are even German oriented. This might be one of them for all I know. Okay, so the last house for today um, is by Odin Disa Vitrock. I think that's how it's pronounced. And you can see if you have a problem with spiders, this is probably not the plot for you. Are greeted right in the face with a couple of nice ones. There's even a Malvarine back here. I don't know if this was meant to be more like a Shades Eve type of plot. Not one I came across during that time, so it might just been one I missed. But it's been on my list for a little bit now, so it is called Willow Creek. Again, it's one I suspected I had visited in the past, but when it comes to little towns and villages, sometimes I get them a little confused. So maybe it reminds me of one that we visited in the past by someone else. But I thought this was really nicely done. Again, a lot of the buildings are going to be faux, and that's just the nature of it. I know sometimes it's disappointing to visitors when they come across a little place like this. They can't get in every building, but there's a reason for that. You know, with the 2,500 decor limit for the exterior, and to be able to include as much detail as you would probably want, it's just not practical to have every building uh, enterable. I do know some builders that manage to do it, even with the limits that we have. But you'll see here that just the way that they put things together, it's just not possible that way. So like the entrance here, it's basically one of the upside down snowy hills. And then they've got a lot of tree coverage, some brambles, stones and such. And even the pathway here is of stones and made a little bit of a, what do you call it, a plateau type of thing. They've got some fencing here. You have to go through to get to the town proper. And most of the houses are similar in construction. You can see the majority of them, if not all of them, are Draken floors for most of the walls, Oran floors for like the roofing part, Exile floors for the actual roofing, and then accented with 2x4s and other windows and features for like their doorways and porches and things like that. So the pathway itself looks like a giant dragon floor, and then it's trimmed with it looks like the edgings of the granite walls. It could be granite, it could be Cassian, it could be various, but it reminds me of like granite walls here. This little trim to kind of divvy up each little block that the houses are on. Well, the Snowy Hill, I'm actually surprised at how small they got this, because usually the Snowy Hills require it to be pretty large. Actually, this looks like it might be a massive umbrella tree. I see the root there. I didn't notice that that actually had puffs coming off of it. I thought it didn't. Ah, I see. It's brown puffs. See the color? There you go. Yeah, exactly, Faye. You guys are right. It's the massive umbrella tree. Because you're right, Faye. The Snowy Hill, I think it has to be like huge to be able to cover it. Because I don't know, if something to do with the hollowness is a little different. Notice they've got the hollow crypt completely covered up here. I don't see it anywhere. If you do that, just make sure that your plot isn't susceptible to someone falling to their death, because that's a little frustrating. So back behind the houses, you'll see little things like this, the washing lines. Down here along the bottoms of the houses, it looks to be Oran walls or a different type of stone texture. Here we have books for the stairs. I think it's the blue books. The faux door is actually the end of the exile bed. And then it looks like two giant 2x4s for the slanted railing of the staircase with a couple of Gothic pillars accented. Look at how the house is built itself. The double roof, you got a little bit of a awning here, using the little spooky eyes in the window for a nice little touch. Um, I believe this is the Draken fireplace. I don't know if it comes with noise. I imagine it does, but it looks great with all the different textures here. Here's this one. They've got a little woodshed. It's just a bunch of thorny logs, but the top of this is picnic tables for this and divider walls on the sides. Yeah, the ominous sky really goes very well with this particular theme. Notice the trash on the ground. So here's another faux entrance. Again, you've got books for the stairs. They're using just the Oran walls that matches the base. Um, Staircase landings, pillars, and then another exile wall floor for the little awning. But I love the little, just the way they split up the house. Just makes it look interesting. They all are similar in construction, but they each have their own little character. Akira has this little tower on top. Again, the Draken chimney back here, fireplace. On to the next building. This one has a bit of one of those, I call it a bay window. I don't know if that's really the name for it, but you can see how got a little bit of a outcropping for the window. It's just domes, triangle piece. Just a small little house. Different types of windows. Some of them are the standard ones. Some are the spooky green ones. Here's the back entrance to this one. Again, staircase landings, and then a pell awning. works just fine. Again, very similar. Again, some town city builders like to make their each building out of its own materials to give it its unique look, and others do really great with keeping it pretty much the same materials, just altering each one slightly. So like this door matches the first house we saw, but the staircase is different. You can see this one has got um, domes on top of it to make it look like little spheres, and then using domes for the stairs as well. Some creepy ghosts getting around as well. The shape, they could have just made this perfectly straight, but they chose to change it up so it looks interesting. Here's their own little makeshift mailbox. It's exile floors, a little Hugel portrait just turned around for the little symbol. And you can see it's the granite version inside. And they chose to leave the emblem up, so that's a good clue for those that happen to be walking around and know the box. Again, similar pieces, the staircase landings for the door, but then they chose to do the Draken domes for the staircase here. Notice the little, it's here for this little outcropping of a window. These are great places to come, you know, if you want to do a custom house, maybe you don't want to do a faux one, you could come and visit one of these little towns and find a building shape that you like, that interests you, and then replicate something similar. Really nicely done. A lot of nice ideas. Like the awning here is just a curved wall. These similar pieces, the ears from the other one, but again paired with other things. Yeah, there's just a lot of variety. Even though they're using basically the same parts, um, keeps it interesting. So I'm just going to roll around the edge. We'll hit the houses in the center later. So here's like a little balcony here. Like an Oran window, and capped it with a smaller one flipped over so it looks solid, and then just put in 2x4s and granite pillars like that. I mean, look at the arrangement of the windows here. That's even looks like a door with side windows. Well, I already pretty much make it a given that I make my own mailboxes. So yeah, not too many people do that though. Some do, not a lot. I think toilets are more universal. That there's because not everybody puts a mailbox in, but toilets, that's almost a given. See, I don't know if this is the fab kit version of this thing or if that's the decor. There's both, so I think it's the decor of the burning tower. The fab kit actually has the little critter at the bottom that triggers the challenge, I think, which I cannot do. My jumping is horrible. Just making sure I hit every little bit here. So we see the church up ahead there. Oh, Digibones? I just, it's not that I hate the ones that they give us, but I don't know. It usually doesn't fit the look of whatever I'm using, so I always, for the rounded balcony floor, that's windows. I think it's the colorful window that has the solid back because the pink and the orange, no matter how you flip it, it retains the color. But the colorful one actually has a solid back. That's why you see a little bit of a blue popping out there. It's probably the window of the bottom one underneath trying to show through. And the only thing about this is the window, if you set it in squarely, um, it's actually slanted a little bit. So you have to actually unslant it yourself. So it's actually not perfectly flat. But I've used it for tabletops and things like that. We've seen several people use them as uh, like sections in a Orin house as the different floor levels when they got like maybe tiered sections in their house. But yeah, that's what that is. Exactly, Bones. That's usually why I make my own. I know I've made a few designed based off of Annie's pencil sketches, like the bat one for Shades Eve, and I think what was the other one? I think she did a Hugel one that I put on my Easter plot. Just tried to design it based off of her sketches. So for this little path here, those are just Draken fences that they've laid down and sunk here and there to make it look like it's an old pathway that's either been used so often it's rugged or whatever. Unlike this headstone, that's just the Galeras wall. Flowers and candles at different ones. Excuse me. Yeah, the bat one was tough though. The wings were a horror to try and make. If you're wondering about the little effect, that's just the oh, it's called the angel head, I think. Um, the top hat one also does it. There may be a few other Shades Eve pieces that become haunted. That's that effect there. If you don't want the little bit showing, I think we figured out this last Shades Eve can actually turn the item upside down and have the effect show without having the item itself have to be visible. It's a really cool effect. You can actually cleanse it. If you cleanse it, it'll pop back up again. Sometimes not immediately, but like it'll disappear and then in a little bit it'll be back. Church itself is really nice. You can see, again, it's similar materials to the house, but they've done it the reverse. They've got, instead of the base being the Orin walls, they've got the Draken walls as the base, the Orin walls as the main, and then Orin floors for accents along with the exile floors. They're using the granite pillars for the trim, and then the arches, just multiple arches to get this little design here for the door. And of course, our favorite stained glass windows. Show them that. It's topped with one of the Shades Eve lamp posts, I think. Got a little bit of a tiered bit for that tower there. Again, just multiple arches, just sized gradually down. It gives you this nice little sign. Looks like a funny little alcove thing. Great use for like someone that wants to set up some kind of a like a catacombs kind of thing. It almost looks like that. Um, it almost gives an illusion of perspective. If someone's wanting to do a strange painting of a tunnel or something, this would be kind of a weird way of doing it. See how they're using some of the edge pieces from the hover part pieces to kind of give like a little bit of a column there. The lighting itself, I'm not sure what it is they're using for that, but it looks like a spotlight almost. You can see the roof is a little not perfectly lined up, but roofs are always troublesome. And here's their garden. Chose to add some creepy plants. And another one of those items that becomes haunted. That's where you get that little effect. Over here, they got it nice and overgrown with mossy bits and mossy trees. And they put one of the new waterfalls kind of down so that you just see the base of it. And that gives this little swampy area for their fish guys. Got a whole family of them in here. Swamp monster. Here's some rocks. Um, for the little will-o-wisp that you see, I think that's one of the lamps. I want to say it's either the spooky lamp has it. I think there's a couple of Oran lamps that have little bits as well. I don't know which ones they're using specifically. Really nice little effects. Makes it look like fireflies. For the dirt here for their little farm area, that's just the back of one of the portraits. And we see a lot of people use that for cabinetry and doors and shelving and stuff. And they're just decided to use it. It has those streaks in the wood, so it looks like tracks of dirt have been plowed or something. Um, have a little barn here. The barn is just looks like travel posters for the roof, and then exile walls for the sides. Some hay bales inside it. And you've got bits of overgrowth laid out to make it look like vines for the pumpkins, for their pumpkin patch. Stuck in the door. Back up a little. Again, to be like looks like a stables. Most of it is Draken floors and arches. Oh, poor animals are gone. That's kind of sad. But you can see how the arch works. Just cut it off and it makes it like a little curved window. I got triangle pieces for the sides and then a flat top, and it makes it look like a barn kind of shape. Stables. Stables themselves are just hay piles with 2x4s and then just added little extras. This is one way they could use those bones that they get from Arctera, that kind of. Over here we have a faux little house. Not quite sure why they have the table upside down. This is like that little heart table. Um, I don't know if it's meant to look like strange little plants or like some kind of octopus creature coming up from the ground. I'm not really sure. But I just spotted it and thought, that's a little weird. There is a little town area for the vendors. So you have the usual foreign cart, but they also made their own little vegetable cart here. So they got the fruit bowls, but they have the bowls themselves kind of hidden down inside the tray. Here you can see the bottoms of them a little bit, and using some logs and some sacks. The shelf itself is just it looks like staircase landings and 2x4s. It's a really cute idea to be able to make, you know, a little fruit stand or food stand kind of thing. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible, Bones. Here's another. This one's a book stand. So it's the same idea, just maybe not as long. It's a little shorter than this stand over here. But they've got different books on display. And then over here is another kind of vegetable stand, able to use the pumpkin candy bowls. Um, again, you can see the bottoms of them, but it's like little inserted baskets of stuff, and then all the little gourds. And then another little one here. Maybe this one's candy specifically, or flowers or something else. Do all sorts of things with that particular idea. Here you have the fountain. It's one of those weeping fountains, and they've just covered it with different kinds of plants and greenery, and then added the lamps into it to make it more, again, it's just kind of accents it, makes it look a little bit unique as compared to everybody else's. Yeah, I can imagine that. I'm like the dog from Up, Doug, like squirrel, and just kind of get distracted. I can walk into a room, be looking for something, and pass through the doorway and forget completely what I was looking for. I have to go, what was that about? So here's another faux building. Again, difference, like this one's got a little cellar entrance attached to it. Again, it's the cellar entrance capped with the picnic tables. They make great little doors like that. This is presumably the armor shop because of the sign. Again, another balcony. Match is similar to the one before. Yes, this is the, what do they call it, the undertaker or the mortician. A couple of caskets. Just incredible uh, use of basic decor, but making some awesome little houses, shapes, and being able to just toss out a few accents here and there. Awesome. I don't think I could have come up with this many different versions. I mean, look at this. You got these little outcroppings here, for like somebody's bedroom or something. I mean, the doorways are similar, but the structure of the house is different. Nice. Little tuft of grass out of nowhere. You have a little buzzbing flying around. Again, this is like portable planter, I think, and then one of the spooky trees thrown in. Just makes it look like a small little courtyard kind of thing. Again, spooky eyes in the window. Just add a little something extra. Yeah, exactly, boy. Like, well, I'm extremely forgetful anyway. I'm easily distracted, and that's why I have so many papers on my desk. I have like notes to try and help remind me of this and that, and I inevitably forget what the notes were about. Like, I could never be one of those that has a string on the finger to remind me of something because I'd forget what it's supposed to remind me of anyway. So here's another one, like the magic shop maybe. Um, and this one actually comes with a little pond to the side, very brightly lit. Just using one of the older waterfalls. Just again, it's an interesting little addition. Like here, have presumably a restaurant or something, the bar. They have this little outcropping for outdoor, not exactly a terrace kind of thing, but something similar. They could have gotten elaborate and added like little parasols or something for those that didn't want to be in the sun. Not that you'd really feel some sun out here, it feels too gloomy. Notice what they're using for the barrels. You know, folks are always looking for the barrels. It's just the vintage beer mugs. Now, how clever is that? I don't think anyone's used them like that before that I've ever seen. Usually we use the troughs, the feeding troughs, or we use the metal and like the half metal, half wood. But this is a great way of doing the wooden barrels um, without actually having wooden barrels to use. Those are just the cups. They've cleverly inserted it so that the handles aren't showing. I mean, you can see it here, but you know, how smart is that? Very clever. So I imagine we'll be having a lot of oversized vintage beer mugs now for wooden barrels. Did you? I guess I didn't notice. Again, using the bed end for the door. See, seen everything on the exterior. We do have the haunted house fab kit to go into. There is the windmill fab kit here. Um, no, I think we can go inside the haunted one now. Kind of a creepy bone dog. Well, you know me, I don't notice everything. Looks like they were working on perhaps putting something together in here. It's completely not ready. There's like a whole downstairs section that's not even accessible. Most of this has come as is. I think they added the buzzbing and the weird effect here, but like the green glowing light that comes with it, all of the fencing and stuff comes with this particular fab kit. Yeah, I think they added this. It's one of the ankle traps being used as this little collar and leash. The hitching post, which isn't very easy to come by, and I forget what this is called, skeleton gear rock or something. And porthole window, just a little different. They got the stained glass up there. Looks like a town hall almost. Okay, so this is the main house. Exactly. I have my reasons. Okay, so you can see how this one is taken some time to divvy up their house in an interesting way. You only see half the door when you come in because they've split it up so much. If I remember right, I kind of get lost in here because it's like a maze. We're going to go to the right first, and I'll try and hit all of the spaces here. Going right. Keep going right. So here's the dining room. They're using our fave, the nautical wheel, as the chandelier with candles on it. If you're wondering about those strobe effects, it's either the haunted window, which I think has the flash. It's supposed to kind of resemble lightning in the window. If you get one that's kind of more like a light moving, that's the train, the haunted window train version, I believe. Um, both are really great for haunted houses or, you know, kind of gloomy, spooky houses. But I've seen them also used in other ways. I think there was one person that set up not a photo booth, but a place where a photographer was trying to take some pictures, and they used the lightning one as like the flashes for the camera. Um, I've seen a few use the one with the moving to kind of look like a lighthouse effect going across the plot. Really interesting ways you could use these, but I'm not smart in that way, so but that's what it is in case someone's wondering. Um, let's see, I went to the right, so let's go to the left, I guess. See how we come downstairs now? I'm gonna be really confused. So here's the kitchen. It's just a bar, one of the filled bars, sunk down so you don't see the bar itself, you just see the shelves in the back. Um, Lined with some cabinetry. It looks like 2x4s, decking pieces for the fronts of the cabinets themselves with Merv dynamite for the handles. Same way here, decking pieces, edge of the decking, and then sides of the decking for the different cabinets and drawers. I like the little plate rack here, just 2x4s to make it look like that's where you display your fine china. Same way here. They're using an upside down shelf for like the dry rack. Very smart, clever. Um, they're using an upside down empty trophy cabinet. It usually has a really big top on it, and they just sunk that down in the floor so that they can get all the shelves. And then they incorporated some 2x4s to divvy it up to make it a little bit of a wine rack here. Really cute little ideas. I actually saw somebody color shift the bird to a kind of a rusty brown color. It didn't quite look roasted per se, but at least it wasn't that bright pink um, and raw looking. I think they did the same thing with the steak and the marbled meat. Um, I can't remember who it was though off the top of my head, but yeah, you can color shift them and change it a little bit so it looks cooked, maybe not completely roasted. I don't think it's like a good solid brown, but it takes off that pink color so it doesn't look raw. Um, yeah, a lot of the like lighting effects, like I know some people were trying to color shift some of the lamps, hoping that it would shift the color that they give off. And from what I've heard, it doesn't do anything. It's like the doors. I tried color shifting some of the doors, and while it shifts a little bit, depending on the lighting around, you probably wouldn't notice it. It mostly shifts the trim and like the latches and things. So yeah, color shifting is kind of iffy, uh, really, because gotta go down this. 'Cause, See what I mean by a maze? Like, I don't know where I'm going. We've got it so divided up. I'm going upstairs. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get stuck in this door. I just know it. A nice little nautical themed bedroom. Notice how they did their aquarium. They actually laid some glass at the top to make it look like the surface of the water. I thought was a kind of a nice touch. Yeah, that's what I do, Bones. I've been using service tokens because I don't really use them for anything else. That said, I don't want to find myself without. I just, I kind of do it just intermittently. I try to keep with just using items as they come. But I mentioned that, there's ways you could probably get around, by changing the color of it. I'm already lost as to where I've been and not been. Didn't I just come up? Confused. Here's looks like a library. So many rooms. Like they got like a little miniature tree. Still going up, up. So here we have a lab in the upper floor. Now this little swirly pink effect, I think that's from one of the caroling microphones. And then they've got like the generator on top of the, I don't know if that's the body scanner or what it's called. A lot of different things for his little lab works here, herbs and different kinds of plants. Neighborhoods, I seriously doubt it, Gamer. I think if they were bringing that in, they would be shouting it at the top of their lungs because they know there's a lot of us that would like to have that. I haven't heard any kind of progress on that particular thing. I think the last time I heard them mention it was mid-year last year sometime, and they said that um, it kind of became a little bigger than they were expecting, so they had to put it on the side burner or something because they wanted to do it right. I'm not sure where I've been or not been. Ah, here we go. I love the fireplace here. As for the daily login, Aurora, if you have a key which you can't pick up, you have to actually, they're unique. So if you've got one already in your account inventory, it won't let you claim a new one. You have to move the one from your account inventory into your actual inventory, and then you can claim a new one into your account inventory. But then you'll be stuck until you use the one that's in your inventory. Does that make sense? Um, I'm not sure, Faye. I haven't been in game pretty much for most of the week. So I don't know if anyone spotted any new decor. Um, I haven't seen anybody tweeting about any. Moose is usually pretty good about uh, mentioning anything he might see, and a few others, and I haven't seen anyone tweeting about that. I think most have been just focusing on um, checking out that new like field tree kind of stuff that's been incorporated. Um, I am hoping there is some, but if it is, it might not be actually active because that's probably not something they're desperate to test. I think it might be something. Yeah, exactly. And hey, gamer, and appreciate the uh, hosting as well, you guys. I do notice and I do appreciate it. So this little fireplace, it's kind of like a double whammy because you've got the bar up top with a hoverboard, um, 2x4 being used as the mantle, but I could easily see that flipped and have it just the opposite and still work. But I like the little miniaturized drake and things, as little accents. This part here is just those rusty fences. If you happen to have some of the Gothic versions with the better spikes, you can use those. The fire itself is one of the Falcon pits, I believe, with some dry logs thrown on top of that. And then different types of pillars. You got 2x4s, Draken pillars back here, granite pillars in the front. Just a real interesting little bit. Notice how they've changed the Cassian candelabra here. They've actually covered it with candles on top of the other ones. The Cassian ones, it looks almost like stained glass, and they've just decided to cap over top of that. Interesting choice there. Most people just leave it alone. So the bar that they're using for the top of the fireplace, they're also using for the little table here. Again, that piece that the other person used, or maybe it's the same one used for the dirt, they're using that to cover up the little gap. Okay, let's see if I can figure out where I have been and haven't been. Is there? Okay, I went there. Just make sure there's nothing up here. Okay, this was the lab. All right, lab. Yeah, they've changed it. They're not doing the daily logins. Once you reach 360 something or whatever that they extended it to, um, after that, it's just the keys that you get. But like I said, you can only claim, I think it's two, because mine's stuck at the same thing. I haven't done an expedition or anything. I haven't read, like lost. Get back. I'm like, how do I get out of here? Here we go. Um, what they're doing now instead of the daily logins is they're rewarding signature players by having the monthly signature reward. Like this month, I think is the Space Monkey, I think is it. I don't know what it's called. Are the keys per character? No, it's per account, I think. Okay. Gosh. Did I go this way? Okay, that was the kitchen. We've been there. Oh gosh, that was the dining room. That was the entrance. Hallway, up again. Another bedroom. Um, but yeah, I think this month's login reward is just for the signature players. It's the monkey, and I think next month is supposed to be a mount, I think. Uh, Purple or pink or something, I think. Supposed to go with the Marauder stuff. Okay, so that's bedroom. Well, look there. There's like a little, like a hole. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to get up in there. Strange. Back down. I like this here. It's like mini biomes in a little display case. It's just divvied up differently. Again, it's one way to kind of miniaturize things. Maybe you don't have a particular place for them, but you want to show them anyway. Fun idea. Notice they're using glasses for the bases for their plants. This little stool here is just the bottom half of the orange cozy chair. Here's the bathroom. Look at the toilet. The toilet. It's a different toilet. It's too got a pull string, but again, it's different. They're using the pot for the water thing, an Oran leaf window for the lid, and a couple of bowls, like several bowls. It looks like 3 of them to make the bowl of the bowl is made out of bowls, and then the base is another bowl upside down. Tell you, we need like a special show just for toilets. Yeah, you can use it on the lock boxes in the expeditions, or if you do like a world boss, there's a lock box for each one of those, I believe. That's usually what I use mine on, is either that or the expedition ones. I love the sink here. There's a lot going on. Those are rockets, I believe. The back ends of rockets, and a hanging cable for the faucet itself. And then I think a reinforced wall for this little part. But the rest is like Oran floors and domes and cylinders for the whole sink work up here. But I think that's the first time I've seen rockets being used. That's the little spout controls. Toilet paper holder looks to be, I honestly don't know what that is. Got like a yellow end and then it turns, I have no idea. Towel rack is just 2x4s. And then look at the tub. How cute is that? It's just some domes, but they've got them half into the wall. And then another one, it kind of makes it look like one of those old-fashioned tubs. And then using the same bits that they've got for the faucets over here as well. Really clever, fun stuff. Mine doesn't crash when I do the world bosses, but it lags considerably. I usually just do I try to do the world bosses if it's a contract, but if I'm just trying to like use the key or something, I'll just do an expedition. Hard to see what's being used here. Can't get closer than I already am, but it almost looks like the oh, what's that thing called? The spade, and then the hanging cable for the faucet. Similar setup to the other, but I think it's the spade. It's that big long-handled shovel-looking thing. I think that's what they're using for the pipes. Again, I can't really tell. It's dark and a little cramped, and I can't get to it. All the stairs, that's just the pillars. I can say my words. Okay, that was, yeah, that's the front. Okay. I think we're coming down to being the last part of it. I think that's pretty much it. The kitchen. Like I said, the interior is like a maze. So easy to get lost in here as far as you go up, you go down multiple times. Okay. I think we've covered it all. In all these places. It could be. It looks more like the spade though to me. But that's another one that's very easily can be for the pipes is the cosmetronic fences. The bottom parts of them, not the part that's zigzag. Okay, now I'm lost how to get out of here. And notice how they covered up the Cassian sconce there, the regular candles. There we go. I'm at the door again. You used it for your knitting needles? It's pretty clever. Okay, so I think that's it for Willow Creek by Odindissa Vitrock. A really cute place. It could easily have been clumped in with like the Shades Eve themed visits we did. To me, it's not really Shades Eve. It's got some elements, but I just consider it gloomy, which I guess could fit too, but it's not something that I would say is exclusively Shades Eve. It's not overly done with Shades Eve, like all the Jack shade decorations and stuff. But you can see overview of little town. There's the barn over there, the church is over there, uh, and then all of the little village houses and buildings. I mean, some of them I think are supposed to be like the armorer and town hall and things like that. But a really cute, interesting, great place for inspiration as far as if you're looking for different ways to design your houses. Um, again, uh, I especially like this one because while they used similar pieces for most of the houses, each of them have their own personality. Just little details like the different types of windows they use, how each of them are joined, like these here are joined by this like uh, I don't know, it's almost like a tower, but it's not. And then how you've got the supports underneath here, as opposed to say just a regular one here, but it's got the double. This one's just a plain straightforward one, but it has the balcony uh, uh, little window thing. Look at this one here. Didn't even notice this one last time. It's got a little ghost head in it, but the door actually opens, so the shutters are um, decking pieces. It's open with a little arch. Just a little creepy but interesting way. Some of them are using the haunted windows, some are using the spooky windows, but all very uh, interesting, but uniform in a way that it makes it look like a cohesive little town. It's not to say that if you make all of your buildings out of different materials for each building, that doesn't work too. We've seen plenty of those. But this is a way of showing you that you can get away with using the same items in different ways and still make it look unique and interesting and a pleasure to look at. So yeah, I hope you guys had fun. As always, it's a pleasure to show you guys all of these different homes, different styles from different builders. Uh, saw something I might want to show here. Far enough. You can see they turned this particular item into a windmill of their own by adding the 2x4s. I'm pretty sure that doesn't come with those boards on there. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, had fun, got some ideas for yourselves. Um, and even if it's not something you think you can use on a particular plot that you're working on right now, maybe it's something that you'll return to later. And of course, as always, while it's great to see the through screenshots and videos, if you have a chance and opportunity to come and visit any of the homes that we've toured in person, I highly recommend it. It's just a different feel if you're actually right there in its face to get a chance to see it up close. Because videos and screenshots are okay, but they just don't do most of these builds justice. A lot of it you can't get the feel for the scale of things until you actually come and have a look yourself. Um, and some things are just kind of lost. Maybe the lighting is kind of dark, and when you come in on your own screen and you have your screen adjusted to your vision, it's a little brighter and you can see better detail and that kind of thing. Again, I probably will be skipping tomorrow's stream unless I'm just really feeling extra perky. I'm probably just going to go ahead with the extended weekend. I do apologize for all the cancellations, but they have been necessary. Those of you that know me know that if I can be on stream, I will be here unless I feel like I'm practically on my deathbed, which I felt like I was this last week. Um, but I hopefully will be able to start things back up semi-normally next week. That said, we're just going to take it on a day-by-day basis. If I'm not feeling particularly well a given morning, then I will just post in my Twitter feed that I'll be canceling for the day. So if you want to be sure and stay on top of uh, my day-to-day ability to stream or whatever, then follow me on Twitter so you can stay up with that. I will try and keep you guys updated. In the meantime, I will for sure try to at least stay up on the weekly house tours. Now, as with this week, I wasn't able to do it on Wednesday like usual. We had to skip it for a day, so it may be the same next week and the weeks after for a little bit. But I'll try my best to do them on Wednesdays if I can. It's really just going to depend on how I feel that given morning. Um, but thank you all for the well wishes. I appreciate it. It's comforting to know you guys miss me as much as I miss you all. And hopefully things will get better as time goes on. Again, I have my specialist appointment at the end of the month, so maybe we'll know a little bit more what's going on. If there's going to be any like major testing or any kind of medical procedure that needs to be performed, I have no idea what to expect. That's again making me a little nervous because I prefer to know what's going on and why it's going on. But for now, it's just kind of up in the air. So um, fingers crossed it comes out good and we can carry on as usual. In the meantime, good luck with your projects. If you happen to be participating in this month's CBDC, good luck on that. Happy to have you join in, anxious to see what everyone comes up with. And of course, we'll try and hit the CBDC showcase at the end of the month as well. It happens to land on the same day that my doctor's appointment is, but the showcase is in the morning and the doctor's appointment is in the afternoon. So we'll see how that measures up. But in case I don't stream tomorrow, which is probably a likelihood, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.